Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the episode of Formula Grace Decorum. Today, I've got a special guest with me today. Okay. Henry Wallace, also known as the Haas Chap. Mate, I'll hand it over to you. Give us a little introduction. Who you are, what do you do, what are you doing here?
Hi, yeah, I'm Henry Wallace. I'm online known as the Haas Chap. I make Instagram and TikTok reels. I make appearances on podcasts, like Fast Ones and Formula Fools. And I generally just make a tit out of myself supporting the Haas F1 team to some success, sometimes not. But nevertheless, I think I'm the only Haas fan in the UK, and that's what I market myself as.
Yeah, I won't quote you on that, but I mean, I couldn't name any others off the top of my head. Actually, no, I couldn't name any.
Like that,
That I know
like
personally. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I don't think I've outside of going to um a Grand Prix, I don't think
yeah.
I've ever met a Haas fan in the wild.
Wow.
Sadly, I've seen loads of other like McLaren and Mercedes and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but no one from like the lower or mid tier teams.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. Like, obviously, I think the sort of lower team, if you want to class them as lower team that I see like out and about is Williams. But I suppose like being in the UK, it's
Mm.
sort of like people sport and they're like the underdog local team, which I get.
Yeah, being around since the 70s and big names,
Yeah, exactly,
that's
exactly,
probably gonna be the only team in that of
exactly.
that caliber.
Yeah, yeah, that has fans. Like for example, I'd never see a stake F1, whatever they're called, fan, or was it a Visa Cash App fan?
No, I don't think I've seen anyone. I think earnestly, I don't think I've ever seen anyone wearing anything steak, not even at a Grand Prix.
Just in general,
I
yeah.
know one steak fan, Becca Stagg. I know that's the only like genuine steak F1 fan that I know.
Well, you know what that means? We can just take the piss out of all the stake F1 fans, and no one's going to get offended.
I'll let you carry on that one.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. I was thinking about this the other week. I think I don't know where I was. Someone was asking me if I've got like haters in general, just like on like my TikTok, just where I'm getting
Mhm.
like new to the channel, or whatever. And I was asking if I ever get any sort of like hate comments. I realized I'm the hater here. I'm the hater in question. You know?
Is
Uh,
there is there something from your past that you might need to divulge? You think
it's,
like, is Zane just really hurt on the inside and he's just projecting?
it's just a defense mechanism, really, to push people away. Yeah, you're F1
Well,
team.
you would get that if you're a Ferrari fan with
Exactly.
all of the years of pain.
Exactly, exactly. So anyway, why obviously we were saying how like you're like the self-proclaimed only Haas F1 team fan in the UK. Why Haas? Why Haas? I've always been curious. I've actually never asked.
Well, I mean, it kind of goes back to quite some time ago. So when I first started watching Formula One, which was roughly in about 2004, 2005-ish. So it was the Schumacher Alonso
Yeah.
real kind of golden era. You
Yeah,
had
yeah.
the V10 engines and that sheer dominance from Schumacher in Ferrari and then Alonso and then all that other good stuff. And at that time when I was in school, there was plenty of video games that you could get. Or for the original Xbox, it was like Project Gotham Racing and Forza Motorsport, and there was a rally game called Rally Sport Challenge, and I was just obsessed with the rallying games. I loved them, and I got cars like little Airfix models, and I'd catch up on the WRC series, and then a friend of mine at school, his dad runs a rallying school which is still going um, over in North Essex, and we'd occasionally go there and we'd like get taken out in these Evo sixes
Yeah.
around this specifically designed track where not only teams could come and practice like repairs and things, but you could, as a driver, you could go and hone your craft there
Yeah, yeah, that's
as you
cool.
would. So in that time, um, like in Formula One, you get to learn to know the names of people within the sport, not just drivers. Um, and a certain Gunther Steiner was in and around that same sort of era because he was working with Colin McRae.
Yeah.
Um, Fast forward to probably, um, I want to say 2015-ish. I'd I'd come out of university and I hadn't really kept an eye on Formula One through university because I got a bit sick of the repetitiveness of Lewis
Yeah. I
Hamilton
was gonna say.
and that whole sort of era. And plus, there was too much stuff going on with me at the time anyway, so I kind
Yeah.
of just put Formula
Okay.
One to the side.
Yeah.
And who should come along into the Formula One world but Gunther Steiner? So a name that I recognise from rallying, starting this team with Gene Haas. Um, so I kept my eye on them. I hadn't really had a team affiliation that much.
Yeah.
If if there was anything, it would have been more the McLaren sort of side. I think because of 2007, 2008
Yeah.
with Lewis Hamilton and the whole hype
Yeah. I
around
remember my dad was
him.
crazy for that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool to see this rookie just dominating
Oh,
the
yeah. Yeah.
entire grid. Um,
That was
so
sick.
as the years went on, and Gunter and the team, and they started to make some headway, and I was like, oh, this is really kind of cool. Um, and then I just kind of I landed in that lap of house because this it seemed like such a genuine underdog,
Yeah.
a
Exactly.
small team with not very much, but they're really taking it to the big dogs, and
Yeah.
they really proved that in 2018, especially.
100%. Yeah. I suppose that's something really cool as well. Sort of like for me, like I'm a big like football fan, and my like local team is like shit, like terrible, terrible, like third division
Hmm.
English league. But it's always I feel like
Yeah,
there's an extra passion that you have when you're sort of supporting an underdog team. I, c- this is what then it's like sort of a funny thing because I don't know if I'd be happier, being like support one of the lower end teams, sort of like a Haas or Williams, AlphaTauri, whatever, or a team like Ferrari where they're not underdogs. Okay, they should be winning, but they're just not winning, and I think that actually hurts.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think that's kind of when the pain like really hits hardest the most, isn't it? Because
Exactly.
you're kind of expecting you've got this immense history with the sport, and then it doesn't deliver in the way that you want it to do. But for somebody like me supporting a smaller team, when there's a result of, say, Austria earlier this year where we got P8 and P6,
Yeah.
I was like pumping my fist, I was screaming, I was like, come on.
Yeah.
It just feels so good when
I
a
know what you mean.
result like that isn't relevant to Red Bull and Mercedes and those other teams.
Yeah.
But when it's a smaller team, it's like those moments just feel that much sweeter.
Yeah, exactly. No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Because like, let's say Ferrari get a P6 and a P8, I'm not speaking to anyone for the rest of the day, right? I'm calling in sick
Bad day.
the next day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Terrible.
Big bad day.
So you mentioned about Austria. I was going to bring on to my next question. What has been your best moment of the 2024 season this year? Don't say Austria 9.
Austria, I mean, Austria was really cool. There's a few moments that really stand out for me. Canada, right at the beginning, where Haas had decided against kind of everybody's suggestions or every other team's ideas of going on to the intermediates, and Haas kind of starting much further at the back. Think, right, screw it, we're going to go into wets, and then you just see this climb from
Yeah,
K-Mag
I
and
remember
Nico,
that
and
actually. I think I
K-Mag
remember
gets
that.
into like third or fourth.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
oh my God, are we going to do it? It didn't
It didn't, yeah.
transpire out the way, but that was just adrenaline
Yeah,
fueled.
no, I bet.
It was insane. Austria, and felt like another big one. You get double points, and there have been a few times this year where we've had double points. So when we've not got double points, it's like, oh, so
Yeah.
and then I throw into the realms of yourselves where you're like, oh, we only got 10 points. Or as you get stake fans going, 10 points this year? Oh, I love that.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, but probably the biggest highlight was probably um, personally, for me, it was Silverstone, as I
Right.
got the invite
So you were there,
to.
aren't you?
I got I got access to Paddock Club. I was given a garage tour, pit lane walks. Um, just just the coolest day,
That's
really.
sick.
The hospitality suite, um, meeting the team, quite a few people who I'd got to know over social media who work within the team, who are, you know, the people who are fitting the tires and managing the hydraulics,
Yeah.
servicing the engines and stuff like that. It's just insane. It was insane to have met them first time, as they have been and still are supporting me and my endeavors.
That's cool.
Online was super cool.
Any special mention?
That or what of people? Yeah, I mean, there's loads. There's Peter Croller, who is um, team manager for the team. He came up to me, which
All
was
right.
cool.
That's cool.
You've got Dan Martin and um, um, she's going to kill me for this, but I think it's Katie from Combined Perform, who are their performance coaches for the whole team. There's
All right.
Lewis Thompson, there's Ol Mason, there's Graham Fraser, there's James Thompson, there's Troy Bull.
Right, Bolton.
Um, Troy Bull, yeah, it's kind of odd. I don't know if he might have worked for Red Bull at some point.
All right.
Um,
Fair enough.
but I did also, I bumped into like Nico, and I'd met him earlier that year at an
Yeah.
event at the pre-season launch in Tottenham. Um, so yeah, it's almost like first name term. Like,
Fair enough.
hey Nico.
You know,
Like,
good, right?
oh hey Henry. Oh hey, love the moustache. It's especially long today. So, I'll stop it, you flirt.
First name basis. Wow. Nico Hulkenberg. Imagine. Imagine.
No, I wish I was on first name basis with Nico, but I am at the very least in the position where I've had those opportunities and I've not taken them for granted. And I'm
Yeah. No.
like,
Of
oh my
course.
God, I can't believe I'm here.
Yeah. I feel like
Insane, considering I've only really been doing this for like properly a year and a half.
that's decent. Yeah. I feel like if I was to be in your situation there, I feel like I just freeze. I just freeze in the moment. I'd be trying to like, make the most of it. But at the same time, I feel like I'd just be like, bloody hell, like I'm really here. You know what I mean? And that could be in any
Have
garage.
you have you had any experiences like that before?
No, no, no.
That's all
I,
right.
I'll say the closest thing I've ever got to sort of being in touch with like a Formula One driver or anyone working on the grid or whatever is I don't know if you know, I think it's in Hampshire area somewhere, Thruxton Race Circuit.
Mhm.
There's basically that you can buy an experience. So I wasn't invited. I bought this. My grandfather spent like a good like 100 quid on this, um, to go on the track with a certain Tiffany Dell, and he was
Oh, wicked.
yeah, and it's sort of like there's like a certain name for it, like Sideways with Tiff or something, and it's basically he takes you in like it's probably like BMW. So I think it's a bit like it was definitely a bit it's seen better days sort of thing. Uh,
Hmm.
Basically, before you go on, they change the tires because you need new tires for every lap, and he literally just drifts you around everywhere. It was
Yeah.
incredible. It was incredible. But sound guy as well. Like, I imagine that's his job. That's what I was thinking at the moment. Like, he literally gets paid, right? He's had his Formula One days back in the day. I know he gets paid just to go around a race circuit, drive a car. The company pays for the new tires that he has to give for every single lap, and it's incredible. Um, that's probably the closest I've got. I think, especially like with me being so sort of Ferrari centered, right? Ferrari's just one of them teams that they just won't collaborate with anyone unless you're, some sort of prince or, like
Unless you're like Matt and Tommy, the P1 podcast,
exactly, yeah, yeah,
they've had this audience for years and years and years, and the lead host is an enormous Ferrari fan, and it, it kind of led me to think about other creators that are like so. heavily team orientated.
Mm.
And it kind of ended, it's kind of one of the reasons why I started doing the Haas Chap in general, because I didn't really see anybody
Yeah.
waving that
Yeah.
flag in particular, because the bigger creators are supporting the bigger teams.
Yeah.
And
Sense.
it's not going to be because of, you know, nepotism or anything, that they like really want to go and experience like a tour of the MTC or something. But there's kind of nobody else doing, like, I don't see any other creator who's being a big supporter for Stake,
Yeah.
or a
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
um or a big Williams all out, you know, doing what I do, flags and race suits and stuff. I don't see
Iconic.
anybody else doing that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, there was like one sort of, there was like a period of time, I think during this year at some point, I was thinking like, right, me being so like focused on Ferrari, right? It's good, and I'm sort of like, I'm building that image of myself as like sort of like the classic deluded Ferrari fan. But then
yeah.
I'm not really attracting any sort of like partnerships with this route sort of thing. I'm literally just,
Mhm.
if anything, making myself so unmarketable. So I tried doing a bit of like team neutral stuff where it's like I'd make a
Mhm.
video, you couldn't tell that I'm a Ferrari fan, but mate, I can't fake it. That's sort of something that I really like struggle with, just to try and like not be biased to Ferrari. So I literally just went from there, just go straight to the other end. I was like, right, I can't sort of hide who I am, who I support. I
Yeah.
know I just shitted on every other team that I tried to compliment beforehand.
And it's kind I think it's kind of a shame because um I think if you've got some creators who are you've got loads of like really cool creators. You've got like Kai and Caroline and yourself and Brandon and like a whole host of other like really cool creators. And they kind of don't tend to focus in on one particular team. And you're right, they get the partnerships and they get the big numbers and whatnot.
Mm.
But for me at least, I had never really wanted to do something that was just kind of all Formula One encompassing, because
Yeah,
even though that's something that can appeal to a larger audience, it's not really what my aim was, because my kind of aim was to create this kind of almost like a little community of Haas fan outsiders.
yeah.
You know, the people who don't really want to admit that they're fans of our team,
A
and
silent half
particularly
fan.
with me being in the UK, really being the only supporter of an American team, could feel like safe and secure and go to somebody, but also somebody who is, you know, a silly goose. You know, I do like to have a laugh.
Yeah. No, I think that's the best thing as well. Because I feel like when I think I was even saying to you when I saw you the other week, sort of like in terms of like watching F1 content creators, they don't make me laugh, I'm not watching. You know what I mean? I feel like it's
Mhm.
just so, if I wanted to get like, my stats and everything, I just stick on Sky Sports. Or like honestly, that's just
And
how it,
there's so many. I find there are so many creators who are trying to do like the news headlines thing,
yeah.
and there's really only a few that kind of get it right.
Yeah, yeah. I know what you
Um,
mean.
and another, like, to go on from what I was saying about like creating like sketch comedy that is all encompassing of every single team. I
Yeah.
also couldn't do news and updates stuff. And even if I did, it would just be about House. And then that's once every 2 weeks,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Unless you're like in the middle of the season. And it's like, well, but everybody else is doing it. Everybody is making these news. Hey, this person's moving to this team.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, it's like we know, kind of. Let's try and do something completely different instead of just going with
Yeah,
the
exactly.
same content that you're seeing all of the time.
Yeah, honestly, I said, well, whenever I get like the Formula One notification now, sort of like, like the break in, whatever, and it's, I don't know,
Yeah, yeah.
Lawson going to Red Bull, whatever. I'm thinking like, right, a million people are gonna just make a video or a post saying, all right, Liam Lawson's going to Red Bull. Cool. I look at that and I think, all right, how can I take the piss out of this situation? You know, how can I upset everyone about this now? Um, so yeah, so I think it's just like, you know, I know what you're saying about creating your own space where you've got people that will appreciate your content. And I think to be honest with you, mate, I'm in the same headspace as well. The sort of thing like
Hmm.
if I make a video, I want it to sort of match
But you've
my
got an advantage then because you're younger and you haven't got a big moustache and you're slim and you look like Antonio Giovinazzi.
yeah, that's what I've been trying to avoid though. But you don't know, I put so much effort into a video, right? So much effort into a video, and then it'll get like okay, and I'm sure you know this as well. The videos that you put more effort into, they'll just flop. They'll get like maybe 2K,
Yeah.
and I'll think like, okay, I've got a couple of comments though, all just like, since when has Antonio Giovinazzi doing TikTok? Giovinazzi
I,
go back home. It's like, oh God.
I get exactly the same about Valtteri Bottas. And he's like, oh, I didn't know Valtteri Bottas was going for Haas. That's a really original comment. Well done. You you're the first person to have said that ever. I'm going to award you a big trophy saying you are the funniest person on
Yeah,
planet Earth. No doubt there's going to be some comments on this saying, oh, you look like Valtteri Bottas.
yeah. It's gonna be me and my
And
second
by all
account, mate.
means, feel free to comment that because all that's just going to do is push my video up into the algorithm.
Yeah,
So win-win.
true, true.
I don't care and I win.
Yeah, I mean, I'm joking. It doesn't really bother me like that much when people say I look like Antonio Giovinazzi. Fair enough. But I made like one video about it, just like sort of like take the piss a little bit and be like, guys, stop like saying this. I don't look like him. And like even like a while ago, I was getting all sorts. When I was getting Carlos Sainz, George Russell, and I think I said something like, "Who next? Lewis Hamilton? Are you going to start saying like Lewis Hamilton?" And then all the comments would just be like, "This might
Now
be."
you say that, I can see a resemblance.
Oh God. Oh God.
Yeah.
I'm just maybe sometimes like a very neutral looking person. Just like I don't like everyone. Right. And I was
No,
just,
I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily because it then can throw you in. I mean, I have got a Mercedes cap. I've got a signed Ross Brawn Mercedes cap. So I could have gone down the route of becoming like a Valtteri Bottas
yeah.
impersonator,
Well, now he's
but I
back.
ain't growing no mullet.
And you know what? I'd like to grow a mullet, but two reasons. One, it won't suit me at all. Two,
I don't think it would. No.
my girlfriend said she'd leave me for getting a mullet, and I wouldn't blame her.
I'd leave you if you get a mullet, and we're
Yeah, I
not
think
even
anyone would
dating.
leave me. I'd leave myself actually.
Just saying, just don't do it. You're not 13.
Yeah, no, I'm not. But if I ever do get a mullet, it means I'm back on the market again.
That's the primary indicator. It's not like a Facebook notification, or it's not like your profile's like coming up on Tinder. It's like, oh, Dame's growing a mullet.
Got the mullet,
That's
we all know what that means.
strange to do.
All right. Anyway, I was going to ask you a question. I hadn't prepared you for this, but how did you survive? I think it was the 2020 season when it was literally just Mazepin and Schumacher finishing
2021.
2021. Was that it? How was that?
It was 2021. 2020 was the year that Roman Grosjean had that big crash.
Yes, you're right. You're right. And then they binned him off. Yeah, I remember that.
And Fittipaldi steps in for the last couple of races.
Yeah.
2021, how did I survive? Um, I mean, copious amounts of gin, um, denial, um, just sticking my fingers in my ears and going, la 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 la. This isn't happening. I think I was seeing the the Schumacher abbreviation next to it and going, "Yay, that's nice."
Yeah.
Um, I mean, what it, it was kind of it was a year of necessity in a way because the team needed the support from somewhere. Otherwise, it was just going nowhere, and it would have had to have got sold off. And Gene Haas was like really becoming disillusioned with the entire thing.
Yeah.
And considering that his team in NASCAR as well wasn't doing amazing either. Like it was doing okay, but it wasn't doing amazing. He was really needing to have some big support from somewhere else
Mm.
come in, and it's a shame that it had to be them.
Yeah. Yeah. Because Schumacher, I was
And
really happy
what's
with that.
yeah, the Schumacher was really cool, and there was some good sponsors that came out of
Yeah.
Schumacher. We got all those amazing images of Gunter with the Steiner ship
Yeah.
and coming out of like a tiny sauna. Um, But the Ural Kali thing, like, it was just one of those necessity things, and we can kind of look back on 2021 and go, yeah, no, just
Yeah.
try not to think about it or talk about it. But funny enough, um, Ural Kali was putting more money into Haas than Petronas was putting into Mercedes.
Oh wow.
What? Yeah, it was putting in something like 60 million or
Yeah.
65 million
Yeah.
a year, and Petronas is supposedly doing less than that. I think that's right. But if that is the case, that's insane. But it
Yeah.
didn't really produce anything. All it did was just gave 2022 car a big bump, and that was the best thing um, that could have happened because we got the return of the Mac.
Yeah.
But yeah, 21. I just stick my head in the sand and I try not to
Yeah.
think about it. Or
Sorry for
the
bringing that up.
logo of the Moscow State University on the front of the seat.
Yeah.
Be like, "Ugh."
Yeah, I just remember that year just like they were just out of contention for everything. And sort of like when you like you're playing Mario Kart with like your 2-year-old cousin and you just give them a remote to shut them up. And then they're just like going backwards, falling off all the cliffs, you just
Mm,
forget about them. It
yeah,
literally seemed like
yeah.
that. Poor things.
Yeah, and at least there was a distraction at the front
Yeah,
to keep me focused away from what was going on. And
yeah,
I feel bad for those people who are working at the team, who still are there. You know, well, Peter Croller's still there, and Graham Fraser and all Nation, they're still there
yeah,
because
of
they
course.
went through that entire period. But just um, they had to deal with something that was really shit,
Yeah.
and
All right. Mm.
and it's just hard. And then I see, say, Mercedes like last year or this year or something. When the new regs came in and they said, "Oh, the car was terrible. It's it's shit. We're not doing very well." And it's like, guys, you've got several hundred points
Exactly.
in each season. You're doing fine,
Exactly.
generally. You're doing fine.
Yeah.
We didn't score anything in 2021. And in 2023, we scored 12 points and came last. How do you think we feel? You're doing fine.
Yeah. Right. Well,
I'm not bitter about
so that brings me on. So I've asked you obviously what your best moment for 2024 was. Moving on, what was the worst moment of
it.
2024 for you guys? Or just you as a Formula One fan?
As a Formula One fan or as a Haas
Just you sitting on a Sunday watching the sport over the year. What's probably the moment where you thought, all right, this is terrible. I'm actually gonna, you know, commit some serious war crimes because of this sort of thing.
fan? Hmm. I'm not sure if I can pick out like a specific race per se because there's contention in almost all of them, and particularly with the FIA this year being so unbelievably atrocious
Yeah.
with that leadership. Um, I'm not sure if I could pick out a particular like a single race as a Formula One fan, but as a Haas fan, for me, I think I think Brazil has got to be the worst as a Haas fan.
I just wanted to chill and just do something else.
Like it was insane how, and I love a chaotic race.
Yeah.
Australia
Next guy.
2023, I was like right at the end when there was, red flag after red flag after red flag. I was loving it because
Yeah.
well, Nico was up into P4 with Carlos Sainz on a time penalty and was thinking, oh my God, Nico's gonna get his first podium and it's in Haas in Australia. Oh my God. Um, but with Brazil, it felt very fatiguing for
Yeah,
me.
I agree. I was like
And
another.
to see Nico beached, and then get pushed out and then black flagged, and
Yeah.
to see Ollie just spinning and
It was a tough
not make.
watch.
I mean, it was a tough watch, and I like, and I know like a lot of people would think that it's almost sacrosanct to say that Brazil was a hard race, but I felt like it was a really tough race to watch because it just went on and on and on, and there was so much to take in that I just became overwhelmed, and I just
Yeah.
ended up just
Yeah.
white noise, like this grey mist just descended over my face. Like,
Yeah.
I
I,
can't take it. I'm exhausted,
I remember
and we
I
didn't score.
I remember I was watching it with my girlfriend. She never really watches races with me. But it was like the odd one that she sat down to watch. And then she was just like mortified. She's like, oh my God, they're still letting them like race in these conditions. Like another car just
Yeah.
crashes into the wall, turns into debris.
Mm.
And it just it was terrible watch. I remember. I was
But we did get the best moment of the year, which was Lance Stroll driving into the gravel trap.
yeah. We all smiled a little bit at that point. It was like, it's like
I
like
was pissing myself with laughter.
it's like when you see sort of like stereotypical things happen in nature, sort of like I don't know, like a cat like a
Yeah,
ball of string or like a woodpecker.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It just makes you smile. It's just like that.
Just
A dog with a bone.
uh, there was an escape road. He didn't have to. He didn't even have to do like a big. He didn't
Yeah,
have to do like a 180 to get back onto the track. When he hit his nose on the wall, he could have literally just gone
yeah.
and then back out. What was he thinking?
Uh,
Get him out,
Stroller
honestly.
strollisms.
Get him out of the sport.
Okay, so how are Haas going to do next year, 2025? Big year.
We're gonna win them. We're gonna win the championship, mate.
Oh no, Ferrari's going to win the championship, mate.
No, 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 no. We're gonna win it. I will say, I was a bit gutted when Adrian Newey signed for Aston Martin, not because he's going to be designing an amazing car for Lance Stroll, because that's atrocious. But
Yeah,
the fact that Adrian Newey isn't going to Ferrari,
yeah,
which then would have meant that Haas would have also had a part Adrian
yeah,
Newey
true.
design car.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Would have
So,
been a
yeah,
real shame. But no, we're gonna. Okay, can we share a championship?
I think
Can we
so.
win it together?
I think maybe. I think maybe sort of like for like the last couple of races, we can maybe just like decide to sort of like merge teams sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Or like say we're
Uh,
struggling, we can just like put our teams together, put our points together and sort of like have like a cumulative score. I think we can win that way.
oh, that's a good show.
I'm sure
Oh, we could definitely do
if we blackmail the FIA, surely they might, see if
it.
there's a
Mm.
silver in there somewhere, I'm thinking.
How much money have you got on you to
Uh
blackmail them with? I've got some coins here.
yeah, I might have a couple buttons as well. Some coins and a couple
I've
buttons.
got I've got 6p.
I've got God, God, I've got nothing on me. I've got no spare change. God. I'm gonna have to give him a gift, like the
That's
gift
what
of.
you get for living in London.
Yeah, mate, it's terrible.
I got
But
nothing.
I'll tell you what I did spend my adult money on yesterday.
Mm. Oh, I saw. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw.
Bloody
Very
brilliant.
nice. And I did a series. What scale is that?
Oh, now you're asking me the tricky questions.
It will say on it.
1 to 12.
Oh yeah, so that's the same scale I've got. So I've got a couple of those, and I repainted them.
Oh, no, yeah, yeah. Because here they're just giving out the stickers to put on. I felt, actually, I found that actually really fun to put stickers on a car. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
take the
yeah.
one.
I completely paint stripped and resprayed
That's cool. I think my next
the
project,
Ferraris into the 2022 and the 2023 Haas
I think my next
with all
project.
the decals and everything to
Yeah,
make it a little serious. I want to do last year's. Oh, this year's 2024's car. I'm going to do that, and then I
yeah.
want to do it for 25 as well.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
But yeah, we're going to win. We're going to win the championship.
Yeah.
Realistically,
Us.
I think we should realistically be aiming for P6.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I have a feel. Yeah, I have a feeling that Aston Martin's going to go down further, to where they were in like 21,
Yeah,
22,
yeah,
where they were not doing well.
yeah.
I I reckon Alpine's probably going to make it like another like a big move, big step up,
A bit of a leap.
and they'll go to P5. And then I'd hope for us to be behind them because even though they were like such a fucking meme this year at the beginning, and it was so funny watching
Yeah,
this team that has got like such a big heritage just do so bad,
yeah, I like to see it.
and especially them being French.
Especially in Monaco.
Um,
That was a brilliant race. I love that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah,
I reckon Ollie Oakes is going to do great things with that, and it's a shame that Flav is there.
yeah,
He should go. Flav should have never been allowed to come back.
I hear that. I hear that.
But at
Right.
least he's lost loads of weight.
Yeah, I mean that's the main thing. That's what counts. I mean, Christmas has passed, so maybe he's put it back on, but I suppose we'll see in the new year.
Imagine that. He's gone back to
Yeah,
2006 Flav.
twice the size
Is
of it
this?
was beforehand. Right. Zoom's telling me I've got less than a minute to wrap up this call. So,
Oh
one
no.
question, what's your biggest hot take of the 2025 season? What are you expecting? Something sour out of pocket.
I'm gonna say that Oscar is gonna be ahead of Lando.
I was thinking the same thing in the shower this morning because I was thinking of my answers as well.
Oscar ahead of Lando.
Thinking the exact same thing this morning, I swear to God. Yeah,
And all of the McLaren fans will hate it.
and I'm gonna love it.
I'm gonna love it.
Cool. So that brings us to the end of this episode. Haas Chap, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for hopping on. Sorry for blackmailing you for
No,
get on.
thank you.
But, yeah. Any closing remarks?
If you ever make those pictures public, I will find you, and I will be setting fire to several things that you own.
Okay. Okay. Yes, guys, if you haven't followed him already, I'll plug all his links to everything down below. TikTok, Instagram, OnlyFans. Oh, yeah, sorry, shouldn't said that one. Made that public knowledge.
There is an offer on at the moment. It's New Year's special.
God.
It's 100% off. What? Hey,
You heard it here there, guys. Don't know what to comment about
films
that.
right there.
All right. Did you get like a ring light for it though? Like it's not just understand the lighting.
Zane, do you think I'm an amateur at this?
Oh God. Um, yeah, sorry, I
I'm
shouldn't
in
be.
my 30s. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I shouldn't be asking stupid questions. You're right. Cool. All right. Well,
I own my own socks.
no, bloody hell. Do you edit? Do you
I
like
don't
edit?
rent them. Not anymore. I used to rent them.
Oh, okay. But now you're just sole owner. I respect that. I respect that.
Yeah.
Cool. Anyway, happy Formula One, everyone. Hope you all have a great new year. I suppose this might be coming out just before the new year, so keep an eye out for that. So yeah, have a good one, guys. Thank you for watching and listening.
Adios.